Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juan Carlos Monsalve. Today we're going to talk about uh, the verification of the strategies that I have against all the shoes that we have played so far. First of all, I'm going to read you some information. This is free information, is for entertainment purposes only. If you decide to use any of my strategies, please be mindful that they may not work 100% of the times and that you may lose money. For all the scorecards, you can visit my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. You can support my channel at paypal.me /juancarlosmonsalve12 or website buymeacoffee.com /juancarlosmonsalve or Cash App at $ Juan Carlos Monsalve. Before I continue, I need to ask you some favors. I want you to see how many subscribers I have at this moment. At the time of this recording, I have 61 subscribers. I need to increase the number of subscribers, so please click subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And now, after you click subscribe, see how many subscribers I have after you click the subscribe button, and that is your number. Something that I added in the thumbnail is that is take a number. The number is referring to the subscriber number that you will be able to see after you click subscribe. Keep that number in mind. Write down the number somewhere, and we can use that information later on. I don't have anything planned or anything to give or anything like that. Just have that number in mind. What is your subscriber number? Now I want you to give it a like to this video. Give it a thumbs up. Very good. Now in the notes, I want you to type the name of the city and the state or province and the country where you live. I want to have that information to see where our people are interacting using this website. And thank you for doing that. Now, what I'm going to introduce to you to do today is something that I've been working for the last couple of days. This is something that I've been doing, but I've been working more on some specific data that I can get through the shoes that I have played so far. This is the website. This is the spreadsheet that I have showed you before. Basically, I put all. I have five different tabs on the bottom of this spreadsheet. One that it says all, and basically I put all the shoes that I have played so far. I put them all together in one spreadsheet with the date, the the date where I play it. I have six additional shoes that I collected the data before. I didn't record a video on these first six shoes. And the first one was here in October 13, 2023. And this one has the letter A because I was planning to do more than one video a day. I didn't know how or what additional work I had to do to be able to come up to a full video. There is a lot of processing after it is recorded. There are a few more things or several more things that I have to do to process the video. I didn't know that. I was not aware of that. But yes, I play six shoes before I recorded the first one, or I used these six videos to practice the recording of the videos because I collected the information. I use it as well because the number of shoes that I play helped me to come up with my strategies. Basically, I put all the shoes together. Every column here is one shoe, organized by date. It's the same order. I have a total of 58 shoes for information. That means that I have 52 videos where I play, and I recorded the games or the shows where I was playing. Basically, I bring the information from the other spreadsheet that I have. As an example, the last one that I played was in January 2nd, 2024. I played this shoe and I have here a winner. So I bring this information from hand number one all the way to hand number 81. Even I only play 78 hands on this shoe, I still go from 1 to 81 just to make sure that there is no additional information I here that I don't want to affect any future game. So I go by 1 to 81, the number of hands, even if it's empty spaces there. But this is the latest shoe that I play. I come back here to this. So I bring the information from hand number one all the way to hand number 81. In this case, I only play 79 hands. Well, on this one from October 8, 2023, the first show took only I played 79 hands. On the second show of October 11, 2023, I started with player as well, and I play this date 82 hands. So I bring all the information from every of the shoes and I bring them here um, in the same order, and I know how many shoes I have played because I have all the data here. Everything that you see in blue, blue is number one, and this is player, and red is -1 or banker, and when you see a zero or yellow is because it is a tie. So when I bring all the information together here from the shoe that is collected, the information, it tells me at this moment that there have been 11 more shoes that started with player than bankers. That's why I'm playing all my shoes. When I start with player because player is the one that is winning the most on the first position. Then bankers, in this case, three bankers, because there after I add and subtract all the ones and minus all the negative ones here, it says that bankers there have been two more bankers than players on the second position. On the third position, it has been six more bankers than players, and on the fourth position, it says that it has been one more banker than player. And yeah, and all because I add all these rows of the information from hand number one, hand number two, hand number three to see, and I call it the weight. How much this weight, and the one that weighs the more, that means that it is more predominant on on that row or on that hand number. And here it tells me I ask to convert anything that is in blue to give me a number one, anything that is in red to give me a -1. And in this case, I'm telling because this is the combine. This is the third strategy that I use and that I use in case that I have a tie hand on the first hand. There are some times that the numbers are even. That means that there are as many players and as many bankers. They are the same, and that's when I get the number zero here. And I'm using when this is zero because I play all hands. When I'm at the table, I always play all hands. I don't skip hands. I want to get my money back as soon as possible. So in this case, I'm converting the ties, those that are even, the number of players and bankers when they are even when in the combined shoe, I'm asking to get me a player because it gives me a better results when I play the next shoe. Um, and then what I do, I divided already the columns or the shoes that start with player, and I put it in only one spreadsheet. And then the bankers, I put it in another spreadsheet. All those that started with the banker, I put them here, and then I separate also those that start with a tie. Those that started with a tie, I only have five shoes out of the 58 shoes. Only five started with tie. That means that I don't have enough data to make a determination of what is, but I still use the combined formula for this type of shoes. The one that I start with tie with player, and I'm gonna go and analyze each one of these three. I have um, three different tabs here: player, banker, tie, and the next one is are the results when I bring and I have the strategy. This is the same strategy that I upload in my website juancarlosmonsalve.com, of which you have access to that as well. We can see here if I come to the one that it says started with player, I have 32 shoes that started with player since October 8, 2023, all the way until January 2nd, 2024. I have those that started with player, and I have all the information of the shoe all the way to the end of the shoe. Sometimes all the way to hand number 81, if not 78, 79, 77. It depends on how many hands I play on that shoe. This total, it tells me what is the total, who has more predominant hands on that specific row or hand number, like 32. The second one is an even number. The third one is a banker. Fourth one is a banker. The fifth one is a tie. That means that it's an even number here, number of players and bankers. On the player side, I'm asking the formula I formulated that to give me a banker when it is tie. When it is tie or zero, give me a banker. When it's a banker, um, when it's a banker here, when it's a zero, I'm asking it to give me a player. So here is zero, and here in the banker side, it gives me a player as well with the tie. With the tie, I'm asking, or I formulated that every time that is a zero here to give me a one. I have it like this, and in case that I need to change it, I will change it. If on the previous case, because this player has been even, it doesn't matter what I have done on previous shoes because it's zero, it's even. It doesn't matter if it's banker or player on previous shoes because this one tells me that it's even. So it's not even if I put my one, it's not going to affect the results of who won or lost, if I won or lost on those hands. When I put this information together per the initial hand played, I came out to some situations, and I have some totals here on the bottom that we will go over it. And this one, when you see a minus, like minus 16 or red, this is the sum from hand number one all the way to hand number 81. It gives me negative 16. That means that there are 16 more bankers than players. And the second shoe, it tells me that there are three more players than bankers. On this one, the third one is 11 more bankers than players. On this one and this one is even. The same number of bankers, the same number of players, same number of bankers, same number of players. On the next one is four more bankers, and it tells me here, and I'm gonna do a split here so I can see the titles. On this one, it tells me how many bankers, how many players. In blue, players, seven players, nine players, one more player than banker, one banker, one more banker than player, five bankers, four bankers, two bankers. On this row is hands. How many hands I play on that shoe? 79 hands, 74 hands, 73 hands, 78 hands. And this row here is the number of ties. How many ties are in that shoe? On this one of 79, I have seven ties. For a net number of hands between player and banker, 72. I mean that from the 79 hands, I subtract the ties, I get 72, 72 hands net. Those are the net hands play between banker and player. So if I divide the number of hands won by banker, in this case 16 bankers, more than players, I divide by the net number of hands played, that is excluding the ties, I got 72, it gives me a 22.22% of more ties, excuse me, more bankers than players. On this one, with three more players than bankers, he gave me a 4.48. This one, 11 bankers out of 73 hands. From the 73 hands, 8 ties. Net hands play 65. That's 11 divided by 65. That's 16.52. If I come all the way here to the end, and this is all the same thing, if I come here all the way to the end of the totals, it tells me that when the shoe started with player, I have 17 more banks won than players, more bankers than players, 17 of them. The total of hands played on those 32 shoes, uh, the total numbers of hands was 2,465 hands. From 2,465 hands, I have 226 ties that leave me with a net of 2,239 hands. That's the net number of hands between players and bankers. If I divide 17 hands by 2,239, it gives me a 0.76. The 0.76, that means that when it started with player, it has an advantage of 0.76. It says at the casino that is the advantage of the banker. I think that is like 1.26 when it's a banker hand, and that advantage is given it to the casino because we have to pay commission out of that. For the player side, they say that the advantage to the casino is 1.06, I think. On this one, it says for me, with these shoes play, it says that it's 0.76 advantage of the banker over the player. Or player, the hand when it's a player hand between players and bankers. The advantage is 0.76. And the 9.17 here is the number of ties, is 226 tie hands divided by 2,465. They gave me a 9.17. They say that usually the ties is about 8%. On this one, it gives me 9.17. And then I go to the other two. I go to the banker. I go to the banker side, and I'm gonna review that information as well. I'm gonna split here. It tells me that the first uh, the first column, the shoe played in October 11, 2023. I have 11 more players than bankers out of the 76 hands. On those 76 hands, I have five ties. If I subtract 76, I subtract 5, it gives me 71 net hands played between player and banker. If I divide these 11 more hands player, if I divide it by 71 hands, net hands played, it gives me a 15.49% more players than bankers. And on this one was bankers, 10 bankers, 7 players, 16 bankers, 6 bankers, 3 bankers, 4 bankers, 15 bankers. And here is a player, and here's even. And the same thing, number of hands, number of ties hands, and net hands, and this gives me a percentage. This percentage is not as important there as it is at the end of the 21 shoes. 21 shoes have started with banker. 32 shoes started with player. 21 shoes started with banker. That's why I play player at the beginning, because it tells me that while I'm collecting this information, this data is giving me more players at the beginning. With the first shoes that I collected information that I did a similar work to this one, it showed me the banker was the more predominant at the beginning, at the first hand. But for some reason, in this case, it's giving me more players at the beginning. And when I add all this at the end the same thing. I add all the numbers, all the rows here, and it give me 21 on the first one. The second and third hands, it give me an even number. That means that it's the same number of players and the same number of bankers. Same number of players and number of bankers. And now that hand number four, it give me more bankers, only two bankers. Here is only two players. Here are 8 players. That means that this is more predominant. And on the banker side, I'm asking the formula to give me a player when this total is zero. When it's zero, when it's even, give me a player. And the main reason why I like to play player when there it doesn't matter if it's player or banker according to the formula. If I go player, is if I win, I don't have to pay commission, or I don't have to pay any risk that I'm going to be cut down if I win, like when I play in a Super Six table or Dragon Seven. I'm not sure how is that called, the three card seven, when it wins the banker, because it's a push. It's a tie with the dealer. And when I this is the way that I create a strategy. But at the end of this column, I also add how many all these minus 21, minus 2, plus 2, plus 8, less 2, less 7. I add all these on the bottom here, and it gives me a net number. And the net number in this case minus 73. That means that out of on this one, there are less shoes that started with banker. The total of hands play in those 21 shoes, it gives me 1,595. From the 1,595, there are 152 ties. I subtract the 152 from the 1,595, and I get a net number of hands of 1,443. If I divide the 73, that is a bankers, more bankers. If I divide that number by 1,443, that is the net number of hands played. After I subtract the ties, it gives me a 5.06. In comparison to the one that started with player, it told me that The only advantage of the banker when it started with player, the only advantage was 0.76. When it started with banker, the advantage increased. Here is 0.76 because only 17 hands, more bankers than players out of 2,239 hands. If I go back to the banker, it says 73, a lot more bankers than players in a much less number of hands played, 1,443. That's why this percentage is higher, 5.06. If I go to the shoes that started with a tie, that I only have five shoes that started with a tie. If I come all the way to the end, I add all this again. He give me a zero at the beginning because all started with a tie. The second hand is a banker, and then one player here, three players here, one player here, one player here, and if I add all this at the bottom, it tells me that there are 29 more players. That means that with only five shoes that I play, it tells me that there are more players. And I don't know if you want to make any conclusions. For me, probably no. I don't have enough data to determine that every time that there are more play that there is a tie on the first hand, it's going to be more players on the entire shoe. I cannot make that assumption, but this is what it shows me here: 29 more players than bankers, and the total of hands played that 391. 34 ties. That leaves me with 357 net hands played between players and bankers. That it gives me an advantage of the player. If I divide 29, if I divide it by 357, it gives me an 8.12% more players than bankers, or the percentage of additional players in reference to banker, in reference to the entire number of hands played. And going back to the tab here of player, then this is the strategy. The strategy is on this column. And then what I do is all the shoes that I have played, I I use the shoe and I apply the strategy, the latest strategy that I have for to all the shoes that I have played. I say, okay, what happened if I use this strategy towards all the shoes that I have played? How well I have done if I did that? So yes, coming down here. Um, this number here, it tells me if I have won or if I have lost. Every time, every one here, number one is a win, and a red or -1 is a loss. That means that, and with the zero is a tie. That means that it was a tie. That means that I didn't lose, I didn't win. But the play that the blue is a win, a red or -1 is a loss. If I come on the bottom to the bottom here, it tells me if I won and how many hands I won, or if I lost, how many hands I lost. This is that I won more than I lost. On this one, I won 16 more than I lost. On this one, I lost three more than I won. On this one, I won three more of that I lost. On this one, six. Every blue number here and the number like 17, 11, 7, 15. I mean that using this strategy, and this would have been the outcome on that specific shoe. And it has been more wins, more blue than red, and this one not -7, and this one -3. On this one, a positive 19. I mean that it was 19 more hands won than lost. If I have, in other words, if I have played a flat bet during the entire show, I will have won 19 hands. But because there is a bank, because I'm playing bankers and players, so okay. And here every blue, like here is 26 hands. And that means that 26 hands won more than I lost. Here 17, here 6, here 4, 14. Here is a negative 7, that means that I lost more. And here 16, 23, 7, 12, 24. Those in blue are more hands won than lost. So when I come here to the end, on in 42 shoes, 42 shoes that I have played, on this one I have a positive. I have 343 more hands won than lost. On this one, it still shows the negative 17. The 17 are bankers, 17 more bankers. The total of hands 2,465. The tie 226. And the net hands played 2,239. If I divide the 343 hands, more hands won than lost, it gives me an advantage over the casino of 15.32%. That advantage that the casino says that, or the statistics show that the advantage of the casino, the 1.26 when it's a banker or a 1.06 when it's a player. Here it gives us an advantage. Using this strategy, it tells me that the advantage is 15.32%. And the 9.17% is the types. It's number of types, 226 divided by 2,465. If I go to the next one, to the banker, the same analysis. I already know 73 bankers at 5.06. If I come here, and this is the strategy if we need to start with banker. This is the strategy, um, because I because at this moment this one is not the formula at the beginning. It's supposed to be banker, but because I don't play banker, I play player at the beginning. If I use this one, if I need to switch back to the banker, so I still have to mark down that I started with the player. That's why here is in blue, and it shows that I lost this the first hand in all the shoes because I'm playing player in my first hand. But the remainder this is the strategy for when the shoe starts with the banker. If I compare all the shoes with this strategy, the same thing. Everything that shows blue or number one, this is a win. When it's a minus one, it's a loss. So, and when it's zero, it's a tie. That means that I didn't win, I didn't lose. But yes, this is red losses, blue wins. If I come down here on the bottom, it tells me if the same thing. Everything that is in blue, those are additional wins or negative more more loss than one. Like in this case, column number one, it says that I won 9 more hands than I lost. On the second one, I won 8 more hands than I lost. On the third one, I won 15 more hands than I lost. Now, these numbers are different as of when I play the shoe because I was using a different strategy. This is already taken in consideration using all the shoes that I have played so far, and I'm adding more shoes. So those numbers, that's why those strategies they change. They slightly change with the new shoes that I play because those totals change. And if I come here to the end of this part of the spreadsheet, it tells me that I have 265 more wins than losses. It shows me here still the 73 more hands more bankers than players. Total of hands 1,595, and from that I had 152 ties. That leave me with 1,443 net hands played between players and bankers. If I divide the 265, if I divide them by the number of net hands that of the 1,443, it tells me that my advantage over the casino is the 18.36%. And the numbers change, or these numbers are changing because I'm using the same strategy. I'm using the same set of a deck of cards. The same thing happen when we go to the casino. Everything that you do at the casino for a longer period of time, those outcomes will start affecting your game because now it's getting to be known the way that you are playing. The same is happening, but the first time that I did it, my um, well, I was not using dice. My advantage over the casino was 9.5% for one formula and 10.5% over the other formula. When I start playing this new set of shoes that I'm playing and that I'm recording, my advantage over the casino went to 21% and 24%, but now it's 15% and 18%. Those are still very significantly higher than just playing players only or bankers only or chop chop, or because I tested all those strategies and this is the best one that I was able to come up with. Now the next part. Now I'm going to the third tab here, that is for ties. For ties, I use the combined strategy. And what happened here is because I don't have enough data, still it shows that the first hand was a tie. Still, I go to the end and it tells me, okay, the first one is a zero. I ask it to give me a one because this is a player. This is the way that I'm starting my shoes is with player. And then the form. This is the strategy for when it starts with a tie. This is the strategy that I use. These are the totals: minus one, one, three, one, one, minus three, one, minus one. And this is really close to zero. The reason why it's really close to zero is because I don't have enough data. I only have five shoes play. That if I use the most recent or the current strategy, the one that I printed in January 1st, this has been the outcome. It's only five shoes here, and it tells me that everything that you see here in blue is a win, everything that you see here in red is a loss, and everything that it says here with zero or yellow, there is no win, no loss because it was a tie at the beginning and then some other ties during the game. And if I come all the way to the bottom, and this is what it makes me positive that this is the best strategy. The strategy when it comes to when the shoe starts with a tie, because he gave me a 30 in the from the first shoe or the first column here. He gave me a 33 positive. That means 33 more hands won than lost. On the second one, 23 more hands won than lost. On the third one, 26. On the fourth one, 25, and on the fifth one is 24. That means that those are won. Additional more hands won than lost. If I come all the way to the end, the same thing. It gives me that I won more 131 more hands than those that I lost. On this one, it's telling me that when it starts with a tie, I have 29 players, more players than bankers. The total of hands played was 391. The number of ties was 34. The net is the difference between 391. I subtract the 34 ties. It gives me a net number of hands played, or that it was 357. If I divide 131 more hands that I won, divided by the numbers of the net hands that I play, it gives me an advantage over the casino of 36.69%. And the 8.70 is the ties, that is 34 ties, divided by the total number of hands played, 391, it gives me 8.70. Those are the ties, and they give about 8%, uh, the rate of how many ties usually are in a regular shoe. That number is about right. Also, the banker um, here is 9.53, which is also about right, 8%, 9%, and with the player also here 9.17 for the bankers. That's the no, for the ties. The ties in a shoe about 8-9%. Is about the same or a little bit higher in my shoes, a little bit higher than the average that they say it happens at the casino. That could happen. And then the last part of this spreadsheet. The first one is between bankers and players. The second one is when I compare the shoe towards no when I compare the current strategy towards the last shoe that I of all the shoes that I have played so far. Those are the numbers that it gives me. And the third section of this, if I go all the way to the end, I started again here, and I open up every one uh, of these um, wins and losses. One is a win. One is a win. One is a win. And minus one, minus one, minus one. Those are losses. So I apply the strategy that I'm using, not only the strategy of the 5 units minimum with two stops and one continue. The two stops when I have a loss, and when I have a loss and I have reached my 5 unit target, I will stop. Or if I have a loss, haven't reached the target, and I have one win, when I reach the target, that's another stop. And a continue is when I have a win with no and I haven't reached the target, and the second win that I have and I reach the target because I won two in a row, I will continue. The same strategy that I'm using, the same money management that I'm using there, I brought that here to be able to compare that strategy with this money management. What I have come out with is the following. Um, on this one, let's say on this one, we have won $500, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a split here as well. I'm gonna come here to the beginning, and this is the one that starts with player. I'm gonna do the split here, so I keep my titles, and also yes, I use my titles and my first column where I have the hand number. Like this is the first column. Oh, next section. The next section is right here. It says that the hand number and this one that he won $500 in 10 hands. On the next on the second shoe, he won 150 in 7 hands. The third one, he won 150 in 6 hands. On this one, shoe number 4, he won 150 also in 6 hands. And the shoe number 5, he won $300 in 8 hands. Here, It says that he won $125 in 12 hands. On this one, 550 in 550 in 11 hands, and all the way to the end, I apply the same formula, the same strategy of the 5 units minimum. Sometimes, like in this case, won $900, and this was in 14 hands. On this one, 275 and 7 hands or 8 hands. On this one, 1900, and this one went all the way to 16 hands. And I did that all the way to the end, applying the same formula, the same money management. That is the Monsalve betting system is doubling every time that we lost, similar to the Martingale betting system. The only difference is that I don't reset after a win. I'm looking to make an additional win so I can recoup my money and have the profit. And in case that I win two in a row and I reach the target on the second one, my hope of what I'm looking for is to go into a winning streak so I can take advantage uh, um, of a higher bet amount. If I go all the way to the bottom here on every one of the shoes that I play, it tells me here is how many hands I won or lost, as we saw before: 16 hands once, eight, three hands, three more hands lost than won. This one, three more hands won than lost. But it tells me here first how much I make. That even if I have a -3 here, because that's for the entire shoe, I didn't play the entire shoe. I only played 6, 7, 8, 9 hands, and this is the profit. The profit is 150. Here it tells me how much was in the hole and how much was my next bet, how much I needed to be able to pay that shoe and make this profit. On this one, I was in the hole 100. The following my highest bet was 400 plus 100. That means that I needed 500 to be able to make 500. On this one, I was in the hole $50. I needed to bet 200, so I needed 250 to be able to make an addition to make 150. So these three amounts here, it tells me how much it was in the hole, what was the next bet amount, how much money that I needed to have in the pocket or in chips to be able to continue to play until I reach my target. In this case, 150. And so this row here, 500, 150, 150, 150, 300, 125. Those are the money that I would have made if I have used that the strategy, the current strategy for that I printed in January 1st. That I will update with the new shoes that I have played on Sunday. Probably starting Monday, I will use a new strategy, the new strategy or an updated one because that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to play more shoes so I can get more data to come out with better numbers. I think it's going to be improving. At some point, it may start decreasing because those numbers also go up or down. Excuse me. And in this, excuse me, on this case where the amount went higher, I see that I make only $125. I was in the hole 3,075, and the next bet amount was 3,200. So if I add these two together, that means that I would have needed $6,275 to be able to make 125. For many, it doesn't make sense. Um, in other words, if you don't have if for this shoe you didn't have 6,275, this would have been one shoe that I have lost. Like when I start paying, I usually start paying with $2,000. For a $25 table, is I recommend is $25 table, 60 units is about 1,500. Between 1,500 to $2,000 is a good amount to start building up a bankroll. But if you don't have 6,275, then this shoe would have been lost. But if you have a good bankroll, 62.75 was the amount that was needed to be able to survive this shoe. On this one, the profit was 550. The hold was 250. Additional, the next bet was 400 for a total of 650. That means that that was the amount that was needed. Not necessarily that that's the amount that you started playing. You need to start playing with at least 60 units of the minimum of the table minimum or the hand that is minimum. On this one was 600 in the hole. Next bet was 800. Profit 1400. No, so 1400 was the total. 800 plus 600, 1400. $200 the profit. Um, Another one that went high was this one here. It was in the hole 3100. The next bet amount was 5,000. The total amount needed was 8,100, but the profit was 1,900. Let me see if I see another high. Two that went high, too high. Um, and we are here is another one that it went too high. It was on the whole $2,300. The next bet amount was 3,200. I needed to survive this shoe and make $900. I needed 5,500. I mean that if I didn't have 5,500 playing this shoe, I would have lost on the shoe. If I come all the way to the end, it shows me that I have 32 hands. 32 hands that have been played. From the 32 hands, um, the total amount won on those 32 hands was 11,600. The total amount of hands play won versus those that are lost, 343 more hands won. The 17 hands, the 17 more bankers and players, the 2,465 hands played, 226 ties, 2,239 net. The 0.76 advantage, banker advantage was 0.76. The ties was 9.17. I also put here the January 1st. This is the strategy, and I have this label here on this on the right side, on the left side of the screen. It tells me here, okay, the strategy that I used here was January 1st, 2024. The money divided by the net hands, it was 5.18. That means that I'm measuring my and I have to think about this how I'm gonna what is the best way for me to compare one strategy to the next one. On this one, I decided to divide like the money that it was won, in this case 11,600, divided by the net number of hands, in this case 2,239, even though I didn't play the 2,239 because on most of the shoes that I play, I only play like 10, between 10 and 15 hands at the most. But to be able to measure the effectiveness of this strategy, it tells me that the average it was 5.18. This is the shoes that started with player. I did the same thing with the shoes that started with banker. So I go here and I did the same thing. I come here and I say compare me. I already did a comparison with the shoe, the strategy versus every shoe that started with banker. And here I added the Monsalve Betting System, and it shows here. Let's say that on this one, on the first hand, on the first shoe, I was in the hole 2,375. The next bet was 3,200. I only, if you see, I only won here two hands, one for 800 and one for 3,200. But because every time that I lost 25, then went to 50, then went to 100, then went to 200, then went to 400, and then I won one for 800, and I made my first $25. But because I keep that amount, I don't go down like the Martingale betting system that it goes down to the original bet amount of 25, because it's too slow for me to make my 5 units, and 5 units is not a lot of money. But because I have it in 800 already, my next two hands I lost. I lost the 800 that I just won, but I lost, and the next bet of 1600 I lost it as well. So I was in the whole 2375, but because I doubled this 1600, now I won 3200 on the next bet. But because I started this, I already had $25 in my pocket, and I already have $800 my bet amount. When I started betting here, 800 loss, 1600 loss, and then what 13200, because I started with 800 before I lost these two. That's my profit, and my profit was 800 plus 25, 825. And the same thing happened here. I lost the first one, the second one, then it doubles here to 800. After the win, I keep the same bet amount, 100, and then one loss. And because I lost this one was a tie because I lost the one before. This one is a double up. It's 200. That is a negative. I lost 200. I lost 400, and then I won 800. But because I was already in 100 here, the bet amount plus the 125, that's why I ended up with 225. These 225, I stopped there because I made my target. One loss, didn't meet the target. One win, I met the target. So um, that's why, and that is a reason why I came up with these 3 points. uh, Two stops and one continue, just because of the experience that I have with the game. And on this calculation, I'm just verifying that the conclusions that I have made are they working or they are not. And I'm gonna look for higher bets amount. This one was a high bet amount. I was in the whole 2375. I needed 3200. I needed no, that was 3200 was my next bet. I needed 5575 to make a profit of 825. But if I didn't have the 5575, this would have been a shoe that I would have lost, assuming that I have unlimited funds, because we are not playing real money here. We are just studying the game. Um, but it's positive. 9 positives, 8 positive, 15 positive. Those are at the end of the shoe using the latest strategy that I have. Those who will have been the number of hands, more hands won than lost. On this one, it's a -8. What I have told you that even any strategy you can have the strategy that is against what you're playing, and that happens with any of the strategy that you can come up with. Because I have tested with many variations of whatever we can think of a strategy, playing banker only, playing player only, playing the chop, or playing the different scorecards that I use, the every two, every three, every four. I have tested all of those to be able to come up to this strategy, or these strategies, because I have three that are different, three different situations. On this one here, it shows I was in the whole 375. My next bet was 800 for a total of 1175 to be able to make $825. I don't see on this one higher. Some that went higher. Here, one that went higher. I was in the whole 2375. My next bet was 3200. I needed 5575 to make $825, or to earn 825 $825. But if I didn't have those 5575, I would have lost that shoe as well. So I don't see anything major. 1700 was the profit here. Was in the whole 300. Then started winning a streak here. Here is lost the first one because I start with player, and this is the banker. The banker. Those are I start with banker. The second one was a tie. The third one, was because I lost the first one. I won 50. My third, my. Okay, so this one. Okay, the first one is a loss because I start with player, and this shoe started with banker, so I have to switch to the banker strategy. $50 won here, and then the fourth hand there was a loss. The fifth hand was a loss. The sixth hand was a loss. So here it went to lost 50, lost 100, lost 200, and then it went into a winning streak. And this is what I'm looking for. I don't reduce my bet amount. After I won this one, I take the profit and I bet the same amount, and then it was a tie, and then was another 400 win, and then it was another one 400 win, and another 400 win, and another 400 win, a tie, and then a loss. So every time there is a loss, I check if I meet the target. On this one, I was in the red. There was 300. On this one, I had one loss and then one win. With the win, I see if I have met the target. This one, no, the target is 5 units, so 25 is 125. That was 100, so I was short $25, so that's why I kept playing. But because on this one I met the target, 100 plus 400, I met the target, 500. But because I have two wins in a row, I need, or the formula is to continue playing when I have two wins in a row. One win didn't meet the target, the second win met the target, but because these two wins, I continue to play, and it developed a winning streak where I was up 2100, and then it was a tie, and then it was a loss of 400. But because I have a loss, I check if I have my target. I had 1700. Yes, I was above or way above my target of 125. I was at 1700. And that's when I leave the table. How many hands I have this um, on this one? This is one for the banker. I put the split here to be able to review. This one was hand number 16. We went all the way to hand number 16 to be able to make 1700. Um, but I don't see any more that went up, probably a couple. This one 55.75. And this is the one that started with banker, and it was 21 shoes. At the end of this, I also have the totals. So on this one, if I add all the amounts that I won on this row here, 450, 300, 150, 1700, 825. If I add all these numbers together, if I didn't lose any of those shoes that the bets went up, I would have won 10,750. I was in the positive 265 hands. I mean, the 265 more hands won than a loss. Here is the number of bankers, 73 bankers. When it started with bankers, more bankers. The total of hands played, 1,595. From them, 152 ties. The total, 1,443 net hands. So if I divide the 10,007, no, if I divide this one is, let me go all the way to the end here, 94, 94 divided 97. Okay, yes, this one is, And this is the ties. Let me go to CK98. Yeah, this is the 265 divided in the net hands 1443. That give me an advantage of 18.36. And this is the ties 9.53. I go back here. And if I divide the 10,750 profit in all the shoes that I play, if I divide that by the number of hands played, here is 1,595. It gives me an average of 7.45. This is the strategy you use January 1st, 2024. And then I remove the split and I go to the next tab here, that is the ties. And the ties, I do the same thing. I apply the formula. On this one, I'm having more problems with this one because I have to recreate the formula. The fact that when it start with a tie, the entire formula here is a mess. I I have to do it mostly. I have to do it manually, but it still works. There are not many shoes that I play that I have to use or that I should use this one. So every time that I do, and I'm still working on this formula. I'm learning all these formulas, but it shows here that here we have the first two. It was a tie. This is the hand here. I'm gonna put the split, so I can go back there and I don't lose the titles. So here it tells me, okay, I lost this one, and then because I lost this one, the next one was a win. That was something that I doubled this amount. I was 50, and I recouped my previous loss. On the first two, there were two ties at the beginning. On the third hand, it was a loss. On the fourth hand, it was a win of the 50 because I doubled my previous bet. And then it went into a winning streak. The winning streak was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hands in a row, and then one loss. Because with this win here, I have not met the target, so I continue to play. And here I have a loss, but I already made $325. On the second column, on the second two here, I had the loss here, and here I already have the 125, but I have to wait until I have a loss. When I have a loss, I check if I have my target. On this one, I was short $25 because I lost 25. I doubled my next hand. I won that hand, and because I already had 100 plus 50, that's 150. I was out by then. How many hands? 8 hands to make 150. On this one, 325 in 12 hands. And the next shoe, I started well with the tie, then three wins. This is what happened when the strategy is a good strategy because of the money management system. When I win only a single unit of 25. Then I only have, even I have three wins here. I only have $75. I lost this one here, so it went down to 50 because I lost this 25. I doubled it and it went to 50, and then I won four hands in a row of $50. It went from 50 balance here to 250, but I have to wait for one loss. I lost this one. I was left with 200. That was time to leave because I already reached the target. My next two here is three wins as well, $75. Then two losses. I lost 25. I lost 50. My 75 that I have won here, I went to zero because I lost here. 50. I double my next bet. My next bet it gave me only 100, so I'm short 25 because I won here. I my next bet is the same amount 100. I lost the 100 that I left, but I have to double my bet. When I double my bet, it was 200, and I lost it again. So my next bet is 400. I recoup this 300 plus plus the profit that I started with 100. That's why I was left with 200. On this one here, I started with a tie, then I lost the second hand, the third hand, and the fourth hand. So 25 loss, 50 loss, 100 loss, recoup 200, but I only made 25 because I started with 200. I lost the 200 when I doubled 400. 400, I recoup my previous loss, and I'm left with the same amount that I started with 200. So 200 plus 25 to 25. Those are the five shoes that I started with die. Again, I have 33. If I look at the entire shoe, I was up 33 hands. On this one, I was up 23 hands. On this one, 26, 25, 24. Those are the numbers that I was on the second section of this tab of this spreadsheet. And then the amounts here that I needed. I was in the hole 25. I needed my next bet 50. So I needed only $75. On this one, I was not in the hole. I was just even. My next bet 50. I just needed $50 to be able to make 150. On this one, 200. I make. I was not in the hole. I was just even. Then $50 bet. I only needed $50 on this one. I was in the hole 200. My next bet was 400, so I needed 600 to be able to make 200. On this one, I made 225. 175 was in the hole. I was in the hole. 400 my next bet, so I needed 575 to be able to make 225. Those are the only five shoes. If I come all the way to the end here, and I do the same thing that I did with the other two tasks when I started with player and when I started with banker. Those are my conclusions. Money won or lost 1100. The hands or lost, won or lost 131. So I was up 131 hands. This is the number of players or bankers. 29 is in blue. That means that those are players, 29 players. The number of hands played 391. 391 hands. Ties 34. If I subtract 391, I subtract 34, so it gives me the net number of hands. If I divide the 1100 money that I won, if I divide that by 357, uh, it give me 3.08. If I divide the number of hands won, the 131, and the number of net hands won 357, he gave me a 36.69% advantage over the casino. Here is also the date of the strategy that I used. In this case was January 1st, 2024. If I what I did, because I have four different tabs, one, two, three, four, five different tabs, but three are one per player, banker, and tie. I brought the information from the other two tabs on the player one. I brought the information here. Uh, I brought this is information for player. When you start with player, 32 shoes. On this one is the information. I brought the information from the banker, 21 shoes. And on this one is the number the players, the one that started with the tie, and I compare that these three columns is the comparison between the three. With the 32 hands that started with player, I earned 11,600. With the 21 with the banker that started with banker, I won 10,750. The one that I started with the tie, the I won 1100 for the entire 58 shoes. 32 plus 21 plus 5 is 58, and I have this amount here is 23,450. The numbers of hands that I went up was 739, 343 on the first one player, 265 on the second one, and 131 on the third one. These are for the one for player, the one for banker, and the combined one. 17 more players, no, excuse me, 17 more bankers than players, 73 more bankers than players, and 29 more players than bankers. For a total, if I add all these three, it will give me a total of an additional 61 bankers. So if I compare these 61 bankers, if I divide that by the number of net hands of 4,039, give me the 1.51% advantage of the banker over the player. And that's probably the same calculation that the casino say that the advantage of the banker over the player is about 1.26%. Is very similar to this one. Because I separated between the players and the bankers, it tells me that when it starts with player, it's only 0.76, but it goes up when it starts with the banker. I start with the banker, it's more bankers, 5.06%, the advantage of the banker over the player. When it starts with a tie, the advantage is for the player. We have never known that unless I would have this made this calculation so you can make your own conclusions. You can see and you can, for me, give me a better idea of how I can look at the game. So you have the same option. You can see with these numbers, you can see if that works for your current strategies as well. You can improve those strategies or not. And now, something that I did as well for every one of the shoes, I brought the information here. This is a player. I'm gonna create a split here because I brought the information here. This is a column number on the player side. I'm gonna remove the split from here. I'm gonna make it here. I go all the way down here to where it says hands when they have all these titles here. Number of shoes, money won or lost, hands won or lost. If I come here to the last, so I have three sections there in every one of the tabs, and I brought the information here. I brought those are formulas that every time that I update these spreadsheets, those numbers will change. So I copy this information here, but I brought the numbers. So in this case, 32 shoes. I brought the numbers. It's like creating a stamp on this information. So these numbers won't change when I update with the next shoes that I play. These numbers won't change. So I will put them on the side as soon as I have more data. I will put them on the side and I will be able to compare which of the strategies is better in case that I need to go back to any of these strategies because it's a better strategy. Uh, so this is what I have. This is the explanation of what I've been doing for the last couple of days and for these numbers. For verification, I was not too much concerned about verifying if this information was what I was expecting because I knew or I thought or I think that it's working. So I didn't have that much concern. I was more concerned, having more concern, having more shoes play. My goal is to have at least 200 shoes play and see how these numbers will improve. If the more shoes that I play, I'm not sure what kind of things I will be able to observe with more and more shoes that I play. This is what I have. Again, my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. You can find all the strategies there, all the no, the strategies. You will be able to find them there. This is the you can print it. This is the one that I was using for these verifications that I just told you. The January 1st, 2024. It was the information. I may have updated with the previous. It may have been changed a little bit because I already played one or two shoes after this date. Um, but I will update this page probably Sunday. After I play Sunday, I will update this study that I will be start using on Monday, and I'm going to use that every week. And these are the scorecards that I have open there. I every time that I upload a new one, I rotate this one. This one will go when I play my next shoe. This one will go to second place, and I will upload the new one on top. And then this one I will upload the. I rotate them. So here is the third one, and here are all the scorecards. You can open them, download them, and view them. You can print them. They are in a PDF form. You can do that. And in my computer, it takes a little bit a long time to open. Uh, I'm using an old computer, so sort of some processes are kind of slow. But it's open in the PDF form in the same way that you will be able to see it there. I recommend for you to, when you are watching my videos, to use a big screen so you will be able to see better the numbers. You use a cell phone or a tablet, you won't be able to see the numbers. Those are the pages that you will be able to see, and these are the pages that you will be able to print, and they look different. They look different because I have been adding and improving those spreadsheets when I started playing back in October 13, my first show that I uploaded here. A lot of changes have made to the spreadsheets and to the presentation. But that information is available there. Is also is information that is available for free. You can use that to verify your own strategies, see if they work, and see if the Monsalve betting system is something that makes sense to you. Probably you can adjust to your strategies, and this is all that I have for today. And don't forget, my website is there. It's available for you. It's free of charge, and I'm doing this information because I still will be doing it. The only thing is that I decided to share this information. Don't forget, you can support my channel. You want to support my work, you can do it at paypal.me / Juan Carlos Monsalve 12, or buymeacoffee.com / Juan Carlos Monsalve, or Cash App at $ Juan Carlos Monsalve. Don't forget to give it a like to this video, to subscribe to my channel, and to share this information in your social sites, social media sites or platforms. Uh, Please enter in the note the city where you live, and the state or province, and the country where you live. I would like to know where everybody is located. Um, a great percentage of this information is for people that live outside the United States. And so I would like to know more about you. If you have any questions, you can ask me questions on any of the videos. Ask me the questions there. One question that I've been asked a few times, probably two or three times, is if I'm able to share the spreadsheets. The only information that I'm able or I'm willing to share with you are the PDF files, the videos, these studies that I do. You have access to those for free. Unfortunately, I cannot give my spreadsheets. I cannot give you copies of those spreadsheets. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the spreadsheets when I'm more advanced in them. I don't know, but I won't be able to give them. because that's the tool that I use to bring more people to my channel, to be able to build my channel. That's my main goal here, is to build my channel. So I use the spreadsheets. If I give them away, I will create more work for me, because I will have people ask me, "Oh, it's not working," or something happened. And this is the tool that I use for you to come back to my videos and watch my videos, and so I can show you more. I can play more shoes for you. So no, I cannot give my spreadsheets. Um, I'm not planning or thinking. I'm not sure in the future how that will happen. But as of right now, no. The spreadsheet is the only thing that I cannot give out. At least not for now. This is all for today. Don't forget, you can find my YouTube channel at Juan Carlos Monsalve 1652. I also have a Facebook group, Baccarat Research. You can find me there. Please give it a thumbs up. This is the way that you can help me, is to give it a thumbs up. I need subscribers. Please ring the bell for future notifications. Share, share, share. Every time that you watch my videos, do it in a big screen, a bigger TV or a computer, probably better in a bigger TV, so you will be able to see the numbers. These numbers, you don't have a good screen, a big size screen, you won't be able to see these numbers, and you may not be able to understand what is happening in my shoes, and also the cards when I play. You will be able to see the cars as well, and probably keep your own count of other side bets that you can play. I don't play side bets. I don't spend much time. It's enough the work that it requires to do this type of work, or this type of job. It requires a lot to be able to study. I know you can study other things on the game, like side bets and ties and all that, but I'm not looking to do that. That's all for today. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Have a wonderful day or night, depends on when you're watching this video, and God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.